Sometimes it feels like a bear trap because it's unbearable. So you have to be really careful because they grab a hold of you. Woo, exciting. I have my lures, so when I have a mistake here, go blind. And when the bird flies about, you can see, especially if I would just shut up for a moment, you can see how effective the bells are for keeping track of the bird. Zip. Okay. Oh, wrong one. That's the killer. I want to be ready for this when I let her go. You know, I don't really want it to happen, but, you know, it's going to stay there, and it's just going to be prepared. I'm referring to the dog. You know, the dog that attacked my bird was a very large dog, and I've told people the story about the dog having an aggressive attitude with the bird, and you know, the guys, always a guy, he patted his dog in the back, don't worry about it, I got a big dog. I said, you know, the problem is she likes big dogs. They taste like the little dog. And they don't scream that loud. Actually, a good owner will keep the dog quiet. A good bird trainer will at least give a warning. This is Hera. Hera is called Hera the Terror, known to many a canine. But I don't want anything to go wrong. Really, I want to delight you guys. I don't want to have a confrontation with a canine. It's not my point of being here.
Oh, the other one's on top of the Okay, thank you.
Oh. Not so fancy, not at all. I never said I would be fancy about anything. I said I'd let the hawks go and show you how they work. All the birds know their names. In fact, because I do like training dogs so much, I've learned to train my dogs to respond to hand and arm signals as well as verbal commands. So they are smart, and they will learn. It doesn't take them very long to learn. And again, like I said, just to reiterate, it's the barking of the animal that's the problem with the bird, and that's what we're always concerned with. So I walk with the stick. The reason I use the stick is as the birds watch me moving around, I keep tapping the ground, and they know that in essence I'm working for them. And they're going to surround the area. I'm going to call them back over to this area because they're checking out my area. Earlier I mentioned to a few people that I had to hide all of my own creatures because when I let a pack of wolves go, it means that they're out there on their own and they're out there ready to hunt anything, which can include one of my own responsibilities, one of my own charges. So we put everybody away. But they're smart. They know how to look inside the hole of the teepee. They know how to check around behind. They look every place they could possibly look to see what they can find. The easier, the better. And so I'm going to attempt to call them over. Let's do Hera. Get up. I'm going to turn my PA system off, trying to get them to focus.
Hera, get up.
That is too cool. That is too cool.
There's two. We got three out there.
Yeah, there's three. One, two,
There's 1, 2, 3.
Two TVs and this left.
There he comes.
Yeah.
That is.
Anyhow, guys, you know, it's hard for me. I'm paying attention to you, not as much to the birds. But I wasn't going to call the last bird because very often what they do is they take up different positions, just like a pack. Sometimes one will sit at 3 different points. Each bird will sit at 3 different points. So if I chase something out of the bushes, be it a rabbit, a squirrel, or if I chase a partridge out, it doesn't matter which way that animal goes, likelihood is going to end up in the pot at my house. So that's why they take up these different positions. That's an excellent canine behaving so well. I'm proud of its owner because it's the owner that makes it that way. Thank you, sir. All right, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to first encourage another moving up. Let's have the battle, the east, the west. I'm going to touch my fake rabbit. Of course, the rabbit's not real. Let's not forget that, guys. I did cut the legs off, and I gave out the lucky rabbit's foot to a few kids. Lucky rabbit's foot. Who's it lucky for? Not the rabbit, huh? I always thought about that. I had a rabbit's foot when I was a kid. That's not a lucky rabbit, that's for sure. Now, they're not very fast. Woo! Whoopee! Juice. You want to go after that little rabbit, huh? Again? if they're not hungry, they're not really going to want to hunt. They work hard when they want to eat well. And so they move along in a casually way. I'm going to tell you one of my secrets, gang. One of the reasons that my birds do not bother a whole lot of things when I'm doing these demonstrations, I fly them fat. Because if you fly them too hungry, they're going to want to kill anything. And that's how they are out in the wild, because they don't start to hunt till they start getting hungry, and then they don't catch a few things, they get hungry, and then they're really ready. Awesome. Yeah, around and around. Yeah.
Okay, you things more interesting over here.
Kind of slow, boring.
Okay.
I tell you the truth, guys, they really like to hunt more than they like to do shows. So this flying around, I'm going to pick up their enthusiasm. Oops, okay. I'm not meaning to tease anybody. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hide my rabbit. For some reason, the flapping of the wings of a partridge seems to stimulate them a bit more. So I'm going to switch over to a bird lure. These birds cannot catch birds when they're in full flight, but they're very good at catching birds as they're landing or taking off. And so I'm going to use my quail. Whoa!
Okay.
What do you even think about that? Hera, you're so well behaved today. Hera, get up. Up.
That is so cool. That is too cool.
There's one right here trying to be a real sneak. I mean, that's a sneak.
That's so cool.
You don't have the bells on the bird. You take the birds out to the woods and they don't have any, you may not have any clue where they may be. So I'm going to move over to this corner for you guys. This is going to stimulate them. Up from the quail. Up, and everybody wants the quail. Woo. Woo. Come here, quail. I'll save you. Kind of neat, you know. And you know, sometimes you'll flush a bunch of quail and maybe 14 or 15, 20 quail will take off. They call it a covey of quail, and they'll take off in different directions. I put little trackers on them, so in case the birds catch something in 3 different directions, I could actually find them without relying on the bell. Simplify.
No,
Okay, again, bring them down to the other end here. Again, I pull the lure away just to share with you how they will sometimes miss. Again, triangulation. Very typical of a pack. I know I probably yanked that a little hard, but I didn't want them to catch it because it's so much fun watching them try. Again, not very fast, but you see how maneuverable they are? In a few moments when we complete this flight, we're going to fly something that's phenomenal. Not maneuverable, just phenomenal, because falcons are certainly the fastest living creatures. They go so high, you don't even know they're there. They disappear in the blue, and when they return, they come at high speeds right at you. Sometimes they do a little zigzag on the way down. It's just incredible.
It's up there, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful. Let me get that picture. I want it.
I have no idea. You got it.
I want that picture.
Get his card so we can
I thought that was a near collision.
get it. I'm not sure.
Very near, huh? I'd love to sit down and watch this show. I never get that chance. I can't watch. If I'm watching, I'm dead. They nail me in a heartbeat. Hope you got that. All right. Let's see what happens if they do manage to catch it. And this is something we have to pay attention to, because this is what makes birds of prey so dangerous. When they grab onto something, they don't always readily let go, because they have locking tendons in their arm, in the leg, that doesn't let the foot open once it locks closed. And that's an aid in binding to their prey when they catch it. Like a jackrabbit that's running, they fly after that jackrabbit, they grab a hold of it. It's awesome. It's so much fun. The jackrabbit jumps up 3 or 4 feet in the air. The bird holds on. It's like the rodeo. Great fun, but not for the rabbit.
We all got a shot. Yeah, you got a shot up there. Everybody. He's posing. Or she.
Sequence.
Gotta make this nice. Oh! Wow. Good job, baby.
And she's got a hold of the prey. We'll walk over. I'm going to pick her up.
Are you kidding? Look at that. That is so sharp.
Hera, step up. Come on, step up. That bird is just waiting in case
That is
Come and step
excellent.
up.
Like,
All the way
no.
up. Don't you even think about that. All right, good girl. All right. I'm going to take my quail. I'm going to hide it for a minute. Get up. I'm going to put this bird's hood on. You know, for the sake of time, I feed them a small portion of their rations here. But I say I like to keep my birds fat. I like to fly them hard and then feed them well. But I'll feed them back at my camp after I'm done so we don't have to waste too much time. You know what takes most of the time when you're training a bird of prey is feeding them. We feed the birds on the hand every day so the birds feel a comfort zone when they're with the handler. While the bird is eating is when we get them used to dogs, horses, hats, swords, cameras, anything. You catch the bird from the wild, it's wild. It already knows how to hunt. You want to work with that bird in an environment that's not natural, get it used to the environment that's not natural. This is a no-brainer. 4,000 years people have been doing this. Good girl. Okay, honey. I'm going to feed you a little more afterwards, honey. Be patient with me as I am patient with you. That was Gayla. Awesome.
There's two out there. There's one. Look, it's so sharp. Oh, nobody came down.
You're following a little too close. Stay. You know, they get to know those games. If I kneel down, I call them all right down to the perch. They'll jump on the perch. That's what I do when I'm hunting. Believe me, I don't always call them down to the lure. I only use the lure if I got to call them back. But otherwise, we go out on a walk, we go out on a hunt, we catch something. I just kneel down in front of the perch, and they all jump in the perch right in front of me. I give them a reward, put the hood on, and I carry them off. Then I feed them when I get back to the house. So they know they're going to be well cared for. Oh, now Deuce has a little hang leg, as you might notice, I'm not sure, but Deuce hit a window in the library down in St. Pete several years ago, and he has a hip displacement. So when he's in flight, you'll notice that his leg hangs a little. He's caught many rabbits just the way he is. So he's still a good hunter, but he took an injury. There are lots of problems that birds of prey have to deal with out in the wild. Electrocution perhaps is one of the biggest. Uh-oh. That's Hera the Terror. Sorry. Didn't get to tell him. Hera!
After the dog. Oh my gosh, you got it? Yep.
Hera!
You getting that on shot? Uh-oh. Okay. You know what? Oh, that one. Oh my gosh, there's two birds after the...
How about that? Sorry, man.
Oh.
You weren't at the... You didn't hear me tell anybody. I don't catch her, did you? Hera, come. Come here. Sorry, man.
Wow. You got that. Cool, we're going to be sending that to him.
The best I could.
Tastes good. Tastes like hot dog. Hot diggity dog. You see the well-behaved dog? It's over. I love the dog.
That dog is just like, yeah, that was a nice show.
The barkers? Trouble. Trouble. Of course, I tell you. And I was thinking about that when I picked up that little hawk. I thought, uh-oh, Hera's still out there. Oh, gosh. How exciting is that? The dog is okay. Again, I got over there for its rescue. So you can see, I don't make these things up. I just like to share with you the fact. And that's the fact. Woo. I always get worried that the dog grab a hold of my bird by the head and kill it. You know, that could happen, and it would be just. So that's why I try to avoid it. Had that gentleman been here, I'd have given him the same warning as I do everybody. Because I don't want to see anybody, any bird, or myself get hurt. So, you pet doggy. Yes. Oh, yeah. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, we call this bird with an attitude. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Bite me. Go ahead. She got angry. So what do you do? It's okay, honey. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The dog's going away. You're going away. The dog's going away. Get up here.
Oh, she's a fighter.
Little nut. What a great pet, huh?
Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir. Birds of prey, they don't make very good pets. You're a slave to them all the time, and you can't punish them when they get you. You get it? Oh, if they don't get you, that's okay. Well, thanks. I hope you guys enjoyed the girls. Let's give that boy one more chance to catch that bird in the air just to reinforce his confidence. Confidence is really what these birds need to be good game hawks. So, wherever he is, you know, just in case I can't see him, I could call him. But if I'm out in the woods, don't think I go around calling the birds all by name to see how many animals I could scare away by making all that noise. I walk, hold my hand, I point. That's how I move along. I like to make it easy, and I love the silence of the wild environment. He held on, good. With his good leg, he takes it, he covers it. He's literally trying to hide his food from other predators. Does not make any attempt to bring me the food. I'm going to walk over, call him by name, and ask that he step up. Did he get the picture of the three together? That was awesome. Deuce. Deuce. Deuce, step up. Good boy. All the way. Good boy. So we never take anything away. We make an exchange. If that was actually a partridge that I just caught, I would hide the partridge in my bag. Whenever I go hunting, I carry a larger game bag. After the bird's hood is on, then I cut open the animal and field dress it. Leave the intestine down the field for the other animals to enjoy, and I take what I want home. I eat what I wish to eat, and I cook it, and I give the bird the portions of the food that I do not want to consume. And so we get to share. Hope you guys enjoyed watching a hawk. Let's get ready for a falcon. Sharon should be close by. Ow!
Wow, that was something. I wonder what we shot.
You would still get sick, and you wouldn't live to be that old. But if you had a trained hawk or falcon, you could have something fresh to eat pretty much every day. And so I'm going to share with you the flight of the Raptor. Although the birds of which I use here in the demonstration of flight with birds of prey are birds that have been around for many, many, many thousands of years, and they are at the top of our food chain. Birds of prey are thoroughly important to us because not only have they helped us to survive for many thousands of years, but they've been keeping our environment healthy. For what they do is they feed primarily on the old, the weak, the sick, and in so doing, the strong creatures survive. They actually have an immune system so that when they catch something that's sick, they do not become sick, so they can eliminate the problem from the environment. And so they're helpful in this way. They're also responsible for keeping down the numbers in population, because overpopulation will lead to starvation, and starvation will directly lead to disease. So there again, birds are very handy to have about, birds of prey. Birds of prey are also said to be birds of opportunity. And what I mean by this is that they will even prey upon each other given a chance. A small example, I have two different birds of prey on my hand. I have a falcon on my left and a hawk on my right. They are raptors. They both use their powerful talons in which to catch their prey. Just a couple of differences with these birds. It all starts right from the beginning with the color of the egg. The egg of the hawk looks like it's a very light blue. It's a brilliant color because the egg is hidden deep in the cavity of the nest. The egg of the falcon looks like it's rather dirty because it's laying out in the open. Falcons do not build nests. They lay their nests in an open area, an eyrie, on an inaccessible ledge. Next, the hawks have long tails, short wings, which enable them to be extremely maneuverable. It's what they rely upon. Where the falcon has a short tail and long wings with very stiff feathers, which make them very fast. The hawk has very long legs and powerful talons, which make it very adaptable for catching its prey on the ground. And they catch a variety of prey, including birds occasionally, as they're taken off from the ground. Falcon, on the other hand, has very short legs, but long toes, and the long toes enable the falcon to reach out and catch a bird in the air at speeds. They can see 8 to 10 times better than we can. The falcon's natural method of hunting is to circle in the sky and climb ever so high. These birds actually go so high that they will literally disappear. That's the only because when birds look up into the sky, they're not aware that the falcon is waiting on. It may be 2 or 3, maybe 4,000 feet overhead. And if you think for a moment, the higher you go, the faster you fall. So when birds look up into the sky, they're not aware that the falcon is waiting on. Then birds come out into the open, away from trees and bushes. That's when the falcon will fold its wings and drop at speeds according to the books. The old books, I've read them several times. The book said that a falcon can drop at speed from about 160 to 230 miles an hour. Is that not amazing? They're not getting any faster, but technology certainly is improving. And they have now been clocked at speeds over 300 miles an hour. And what I'm trying to say is they are the fastest creatures in the world. They are bird hawks, so they have to be fast in order to be able to catch a bird. A falcon, when in pursuit of a bird, will not chase a bird into a tree at 100 miles an hour. He'll kill himself. Peregrine falcons are very well known to be called the duck hawk. Fastest creature in the world will not dive into a river, a pond, or a lake after a duck. You ever made a belly flop? Ow. You hit the water 100 miles an hour? Ow. So what they do is they merely spiral back up into the sky and wait for another unsuspecting victim. Killing. Different. Both birds catch their prey with their talons. These birds, the hawks, and there are many different types of hawks, as there are many different types of falcons. All the hawks kill their prey with their talons. They tend to drive their talons into the vital organs of their victim, and they tend to do it repeatedly, time after time. They're trying to seriously injure that animal, so if it does manage to escape, it doesn't get very far. They're able to nail it again, if I'll say. Falcon, on the other hand, very unique method. Fastest creature in the world, kills with its beak. That's it. There are large falcons, there are small falcons. Here we have a medium-sized falcon so that you can enjoy its flight without having too much speed. But because the falcon's feathers are so stiff, for they are designed for speed, if a falcon had to fight with a bird on the ground, it might chance bending and breaking a feather. And that would leave the falcon not as inefficient a hunter in the future. And that's why Creator has given the falcon a special notch on the beak that fits right behind the neck into the vertebrae. It simply severs the spine of its cord. It kills its prey in about a second or two. Awesome. But once the falcon catches its prey, it catches it in the air, but then it brings it to the ground. It kills it and it eats it out in the open oftentimes. If there's another bird of prey in the area, a large hawk, maybe an owl or an eagle, and if that large bird of prey is hungry and he sees that small bird of prey make a fresh kill, the large bird will very often go over to the smaller bird of prey and try to steal its food. But in the process, it might also kill that small bird of prey, and if it does, it will have then acquired an extra large and easy meal. Pretty simple. You understand it all well? They don't kill just for the fun of it. Birds of prey do not kill to improve their method of hunting. They hunt only when they are hungry, when they require a meal. They do not catch everything that they go after. Perhaps 1 out of 10 times might they be successful. But once they catch whatever they catch, they consume almost everything, for they are carnivorous. They are meat eaters, but they cannot survive on meat alone. You know that birds of prey do eat bones? They require bones, and they will thoroughly digest all the bones. Calcium, you got milk, you should have it. Feathers, fur, a very important part of the diet, which the birds do not digest, although it is very important. The feathers and fur is called roughage, and what the roughage does is it cleans the crop. The crop is the pouch that the birds have here in the chest where they store their food. It's kind of like a lunch bucket. Because these birds have a crop, they could catch something that's large. They could fill themselves up and not have to have anything else to eat for the rest of the day. And if they do have something left over, they'll hide it somewhere and return perhaps the following morning to complete the meal. Otherwise, they do not go around looking for things that are already dead. That's the job for scavengers like crows, baby vultures. They prefer to eat old rotten meat. These guys want it fresh. What I'm going to feed them, hope I have my rewards card. Freshly defrosted meat. I got some chicken here. I have a freezer in the back of my vehicle. I have rodents. I have quail. I have a variety of food because I like to feed the birds variety. The hawks that like to catch fur and feather, I will give them fur and feather. Falcons are bird hawks. I feed them primarily birds, chickens, and quail. So I try to simulate the diet as close as possible. But nothing that's cooked, seasoned, parboiled is any good for a bird of prey. A hot dog is processed meat, even if it's not cooked. No good for a bird of prey. Poison. Not good for them. So it's got to be fresh meat. Nothing, no vegetable, no fruit. You know, friends, you know the birds of prey, one thing that they do enjoy that surprised me is they love recycled bird seed. Yep, they do. You know, sometimes you'll go out in your yard and you'll see a bird of prey sitting up in a tree or maybe on the rail or on the roof of the house, and he's watching all the birds down in the bird feeder, and they're having a great day. They're filling themselves up, and that hawk don't even care until they're finished. And they go have a nice drink of water. You know how it is when you're full and you've had yourself a nice, large beverage? You can hardly move. Talk about birds of opportunity. The bird of prey will bolt into the mass of birds and pick the slowest one out of the crowd and have itself some recycled bird seed. Pretty awesome. You guys want to see these birds fly? I want to assure you that birds of prey are all afraid of you, so you do not have to be afraid of them. The little covers that I have on the head, which are called hoods, are used just to keep the bird relaxed. It does not make them think it's nighttime, nor does it put them to sleep. It merely helps them to relax because their keenest sense is their eyesight. Eliminate the eyesight, you've eliminated the issue. There are no issues. They don't have a sense of smell. The hearing is pretty good. For the hawk's better than that of the falcon because the falcon is a more visual creature because it goes so far. The hawk follows you like a dog. So the hoods keep the birds relaxed. I put bells on the birds. As you see on many of the natives, not for the rhythm, but for the location. All birds of prey blend perfectly well with their natural environment. Being camouflaged makes it easy for them to find their prey without them themselves being noticed. If I take the birds out to the field and they manage to catch something, they do not catch anything when properly trained, kill it, and bring it home to me. That would be a dream. The myth, not reality. They catch what they catch because they want to eat. So it's up to me to pay attention to the direction that that bird might be seen last and walk in that direction and carefully listen for the bells that are attached to the birds. You know, when I see the bird at a distance, say I spotted the hawk and it's on a rabbit that it just caught. I never walk directly at the hawk because it's very intimidating if you walk directly, and if you're in a hurry, even more frightening. So what I always do, rule of thumb with any especially wild animals, never walk directly at them. Always create the illusion slowly that you're going to walk around them, away from them. And if the bird is at a good distance, I'll make circles until the circles get smaller. And as I get closer with the smaller circle, I get to say the bird's name, ask it to step on my hand. Sharon is taking the falcon away because we want to demonstrate the pack. The pack, the harrisawks, they're awesome. I love the harrisawks. Yeah, I mean, I love all the creatures, and they all have a very special place in this world. They're awesome, harmonious. They live very well. They're pack-like animals. These are the wolves of the sky. In a moment, I'm going to let them go to show you how they hunt. And when I let them go, I may be explaining certain things, but I'm telling you what they're doing. They're hunting. And with that thought in mind, I want to say that one of my birds, when it was young, and she's about 7 years old now, she was attacked by a dog. I love dogs. She does too. They taste like chicken. Well, anyhow, what happened is the dog did attack the bird, and the bird never forgot this because you know how smart they are. It takes them one time to learn a lesson, and it can be a lifelong lesson. So the dog barks at the bird's going to get very angry. It's probably going to stick to the dog. So if you want to watch, I'd love for you to be here.